Hey, what's up everyone? Tedrick85 here, and today I'm going to be talking about Frogger for the PlayStation. Much like movies where there are remakes and reboots, some video games get remakes and reboots as well. Some of them are hits and some of them are misses. In the case of Frogger, it's a hit. It takes what gamers love about this game and not only makes it better, but gives them more to offer. Before I begin my review, I should say that this game came out in 1997, and was the last game to have the K to A rating stamped onto it before it was given an E rating in later versions of the game. It is also the last game released for both the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis in North America. The first thing I'm going to talk about is this game's intro, which I think is pretty cool. It shows Frogger jumping from the 2D Atari game into the 3D world, where he is ambushed by a bunch of cars and trucks. It also gives you a glimpse of some of the environments that Frogger will have to go through in the game, which the graphics here is simply amazing considering this is a PlayStation 1 game. Speaking of graphics, the ones you'll find in the actual game are pretty good. It puts me in mind of Spyro the Dragon a little bit in that not only does the main character look good, but the world around him does as well. And I really enjoy the feel of a free-roaming 3D environment where you can practically go anywhere. The colors in this game are very vivid as well, and they make an already lively environment that much more appealing. Speaking of appealing, the music in this game is really pleasing to the ears. Here are just a couple samples of some of this game's music. Controlling Frogger isn't all that difficult, but the fact that he's a frog means that he hops wherever he goes. Some may find this troublesome in some areas in this game, but once his controls are mastered, Frogger actually moves quite well. Besides doing small hops just by pressing the directional pad, you can make him jump simply by pressing X. This is particularly useful when you want to reach a higher level or go up a set of steps or platforms. Frogger can also croak by pushing the circle button, which really doesn't do much other than to give you some points, but it is a rather interesting feature nonetheless. He can also use his tongue by pressing the square button. This is awesome because he can eat bugs as he progresses through an area. Certain bugs do certain things for you. Most of them just give you points, which is helpful if you're going for a high score on a particular level, but some of them can give you power-ups. Some of them include the quick jump, which lets Frogger move significantly faster than what he normally does, and the auto hop, which lets him hop continuously without having to press the X button repeatedly. If you find yourself having trouble getting used to the controls, all you need to do is at the title screen, go to Options, and select Controller Configuration, and you can change the functions of each button however you wish. Where this game really shines, though, is in its gameplay. In terms of the first few levels of the game, it works the same way it did on the Atari 2600, in that you have to get Frogger from the bottom of the screen to the top while crossing the road and moving across the river. The big difference, of course, is this time everything is in 3D, which looks really nice while at the same time not distracting from the nostalgic feeling you'll get while playing it. While making it to the other side, this game asks you to retrieve 5 colored frogs, which if you collect all of them, you'll move on to the next level. I think this is an excellent way to get something that was already fun to play as it was, and make it better by giving you a different objective. Besides collecting 5 frogs, you also find purple frogs at random spots. If you get one, it will stay on your back until you rescue a colored frog. If you die, you'll lose it and you'll have to get it all over again. If you manage to rescue a frog while having a purple one on you, you'll get a 500 point bonus. which can be crucial if you want to achieve a high score. You'll also find golden frogs in this game, which are more significant than the purple ones. If you get one, not only do you get a 1,000-point bonus, but if you collect all 5 frogs in the level in which it is found, you'll get an icon beside what zone you're in, showing you the golden frog. If you get a golden frog in all zones in the game, you'll get the game's good ending, which I have to admit I have not been able to find all of them yet. In regards to zones, there are a total of 9. Each zone has a certain number of levels in it that Frogger must complete. There are 33 levels altogether in the game. Some of them more difficult than others, and most of them are different from one another, though you'll notice that some levels are recycled at certain points. Oh, and you have a time limit in order to get each frog, which differs from level to level. If you don't get a frog before time runs out, you'll lose a life. Speaking of lives, you only have 3, which on other consoles you start off with 5. This adds a nice challenge to the game and gives you more pressure to complete a level, which I don't have a problem with. Other than the time running out, there are other ways Frogger can meet his demise, such as getting run over by a truck or a car, jumping into an alligator's mouth, getting run off the screen, falling off a ledge, jumping headfirst into a tree, getting bit by a snake, and even falling into water. Normally this is where I'd say how ridiculous it is for a frog to die if it falls in water, but considering this is how you could die in the original, I find it acceptable and have no issue with it. After you lose all of your lives, it's game over and you get to enter your name in the high score screen if you do well enough in the level you are on. This is a nice feature, especially if you're competing against your friends to achieve a high score. Besides the retro levels I discussed earlier in the review, the other levels in the game vary in both difficulty and in design. Level design is another area where this game really shines. Some of the levels here are simply breathtaking, whether you're talking about the gameplay, the graphics, the music, or just the overall environment of them. I'm not going to spoil it by showing all the levels you'll see in the game, but some of my personal favorite levels include one where you are being chased by a swarm of bees, another one where you have to eat fireflies in order to go through a dark cave, one where you have to avoid self-aware lawnmowers, another where Frogger actually skis, which is downright awesome, and one where he's up in the clouds where he gets to ride big birds and balloons. If you find yourself having trouble completing any level in this game or even accessing some of the zones here, there are several cheats you can use to aid your progress. I'm not going to show you the codes for them, but I will tell that the most popular ones include turning infinite lives on, opening up every level in the game, and gaining access to every zone in the game. Needless to say, it's much better if you open up the levels and zones on your own, but I certainly can't blame anyone for wanting to see this beautiful game in its entirety, because no matter where you are in the game, you'll be hard-pressed not to enjoy yourself and have fun while helping Frogger rescue his little frog buddies. Good graphics, catchy music, smooth controls, and fluid gameplay makes Frogger hit among games that have been revamped. It doesn't matter whether you're an old-school player or a new-school player, this game is a lot of fun. If you get the opportunity, I'd recommend playing it. It's a very satisfying video game experience. This is Tedric85 speaking. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.